All right. Hi, everyone, and a warm welcome to this webinar. We are currently in the Google Stockholm office. We had close to 300 people sign up for this webinar, so great to see this excitement for this topic. My name is Per Hedberg, and I am leading the channel sales business for Google. We work primarily with partners that have a technology as a core to deliver value. So usually, our partners have a really deep understanding of specific customer needs, and then they build solutions on top of that. And Keywordio next to me is a great example. We've been working with them for a couple of years, and they have a deep understanding of the e-commerce customer needs, and they have built their own solutions on top of our platform. So Jonas from Keywordio will be presenting, and we're also really glad to have Thomas from Trustpilot here. So I'll soon just leave it over to them. Just want to say a few housekeeping rules before we kick off. If you want to ask questions or comment, you need to be logged on to YouTube. And there is no need to take pictures of the screen. We will send out all of the material and the survey afterwards as well. So with that, I'll leave it to Jonas.
Yeah, cool. So we can switch over the presentation. And as Per mentioned, my name is Eunice, and I'm a co-owner and a global business developer for our e-commerce customers at Keywordio. I spent the last 10 years working with applied mathematics and what you call today AI and machine learning. And super excited here today to share some of the latest insights on how to leverage that kind of technology to grow your Google Ads and increase the return of investment. So I hand over the word to Thomas.
Hey, yes, thank you, Jonas. I'm Thomas Vogt. I am a global product marketing manager here at Trustpilot today. I've been working with e-commerce the last 10 years, and I stumbled upon Trustpilot when I had my first e-commerce business, struggling to compete with the big guys and figure out how I could build trust with my customer, and utilizing reviews online to really do that and power my business forward. I've been in various roles here, and today product marketing is more of helping our products to market, go-to-market strategies, and how we position it, how we talk to them, and doing product launches. So I think at least more in human layman's terms, I'm more of a commercial product expert.
Yeah. So the agenda for today is that we have pretty much 3 clear points that we will dig deeper into. And we will start while evaluating more about pricing strategy and look how you can work with product pricing and also how that will affect return on investment in Google Ads channel.
And then we will have some specific tactics to how to optimize your search engine marketing in this fast-paced and changing world that we have.
Yeah. And then we will end up with digging even deeper into Google Shopping and really get some details into how you can get the extra focus on that specifically for the fast-growing e-commerce companies out there. And then we will finish up with the Q&A session. And as Per mentioned, you need to be logged into YouTube to be able to send in your questions to the Q&A session in the end. So we'll start with some more background about Keywordio. So Keywordio was founded by Daniel and Morten, who both were working as specialists at Google. And they founded Keywordio really with one target, is really to help the challenge that they see e-commerce companies has today. And I think what they did when they started the company was really to build it based on the line interest with the customer. So, for example, our fee is based on our customers' revenue in the channel. And we only have one target in our company, and that is really to grow our customers to $1 billion in 2022. And that is revenue generated in the channels that we manage for them. So it's really about aligning interest and have the same target as our customers. That is really how we work. And if you look at what we're doing at Keywordio. So we use latest technology, AI, and we build a lot of business intelligence solution, try to really understand the depth of our customers. And then we have experts who really execute and optimize the Google Ads account based on our tools. And we give a custom-made solutions for every customer's need. And even if we are focusing on e-commerce, for example, just within e-commerce, we see so many different challenges depending on what type of e-commerce company you are. So we really see a big need of really being able to do this custom-made solution with a great understanding of the business. And one example from last year. So we had a really good last year, and in total, we actually made 3 million changes to our customers' marketing campaigns in Google Ads. And for example, for Sofa Direct, we have a great collaboration, and the marketing team there, we actually managed to beat the all-time high monthly revenue by 1 million. And then the month after, we managed to double that together with them. And right now, we're running that at a lower cost of sales than what they have seen historically. So it's really, really great numbers. And it's really a combination of together dig into the details, understand the business, and really leverage the latest technology to get out the maximum of the Google Ads channel.
Yeah, and as a Trustpilot, we see ourselves as the most powerful review platform in the world, which is free and open to all. We've been founded 12 years ago in 2007. We have 60 million reviews across almost 300,000 companies, offices around the world. And I think one of the more impressive things is we are among the top most visited websites in the whole world. And to me, that's primarily down to the duality of our platform, and specifically the consumer focus of where being a platform in this new day and age, where consumers can find and review any company out there and really connect and influence these businesses. Because we see today it's very important, both for consumers but also for businesses, that there's a two-way conversation. It's no longer just a one-way street where companies can just market to the consumers and say, oh, we're just the best, our products are the best, because customers have seen over the years that that's not true. So today they look a lot more to other consumers, to social proof, to see what is the right product for them to buy, the right company to shop to. And we help companies leverage this feedback in form of reviews on how they can improve their company, how they can engage with the customers to really power forward in this world.
Yeah. So if we look into the two big challenges today for e-commerce companies as we see it, I think people that don't know and maybe look at e-commerce from the side, they maybe can think it's an easy thing. I actually think it's the opposite. I think it's super hard, and I think all of you who comes from like a CMO or e-commerce manager role, or if you work like an SEM specialist, I think it's a really, really challenging job. And I would say it's mainly two big challenges that this is based on. So this is a study did last year on from Svensk Handel, for example. And the orange line, that is the trend for the profit margin for retail and e-commerce companies, and the lowest performing quartile. And the blue line, you see that the e-commerce is growing, like everybody knows, but this is not sustainable in the long term to really struggle like this with the margins, because you cannot run the company on negative margins for a long time. And if you look at the competition in the channels like Google Ads, it's getting more and more crowded. That means you need to do smarter things to be able to still be profitable and grow. So profitability, I would say, is one of the big challenges. And then I think there's another challenge as well. That is that technology, in my opinion, will never move as slow as it is moving today. And I think I have a video that, let's see if we can share this here. Okay. Yeah, let's skip the video then. But I can tell you the story anyway. So what I get really impressed by is really that when I come to kindergarten, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, to pick up my son Otto. He's 1.5 years old, and he doesn't really speak, but they are still making him being able to use QR codes, for example. And he's even playing with a programmatic robot to introduce in programming. And I would say, like, that is the biggest proof that I can see that technology will move so much faster than it is moving today in the future. And I probably like technology more than the average person. I never thought about actually starting to introduce QR codes and programming to Otto before he actually can speak. So I'm really impressed by the kindergarten system in Sweden, and also how that is done. So I think that is really, really cool. And it's also like Otto, when he grows up, he will be extremely curious, and he will be from the start using the fastest tools out there to get what he wants. And I think this is really interesting. So if you look at the trend line for what people searching for, people are not just searching for products. They are actually searching for complete shopping list. So actually that kind of search is up by 180%. Otto, he's also going to be very, very demanding. So he needs to have his answer right away, and he expected to solve that immediately. So really high demand on being fast to solve that. And the last thing is also that, he can be really impatient sometimes, and sometimes he won't deliver not the same day, but maybe in the hour or the same second. So that is really what we're going to see more. And if you look at a big study that is done by Boston Consulting Group, that they actually can see that the companies that really manage to leverage all the new technology features in a smart way, they actually manage to both grow and at the same time do that with lowering cost. And of course that is a big challenge, but that is the way that really the ones that manage to find this combination, they will have a great future. And it's a really interesting time. So if you dig into today's subject about Google Ads, so just a short note on what Google Ads is. It's really a really great platform, and like Per said from the beginning, it's a really great platform that is used in many different applications. So you can do advertising if you're a bank, if you're an insurance company, and just digging into the details for an e-commerce company, you typically use search ads, which is the text ads, and you typically use shopping, and you have some part of display in YouTube probably, and all of that is collected into the Google Ads platform, where you leverage the technology. But also, as Per mentioned, it's a great wide platform. But what Daniel and Morten saw when they were working at Google is that just solving the unique challenge for a specific e-commerce company, they need to have a tailor-made solution to be able to get the maximum out of this channel. So to be able to be data-driven, we're going to give you a couple of examples of how you can work with pricing insights and use them to increase your return on investment. So think about a typical retail or an e-commerce store, multi-brand. You have many different brands. Maybe you have 10,000 products, and you have probably some of the top brands within sports, like Asics, Nike, and Under Armour. You're using shopping, and you're using text ads, both of them. Typically, what we do with our business intelligence solution is that we start looking at, for example, how is your pricing for your brands compared to your return on ad spent, ROAS? What is the relationship between them? So in this graph here, every dot here, that is a accumulated revenue from a brand. And for example, if you look at this one over here, for example. You have a high price, but you have a low return on investment. The target you have for this total channel is ROAS of 10. So if you put in $1 into Google Ads, you expect to have $10 back. And this kind of analysis, what is the actual action that you can take from this? So assume that the green in the A box, that is Under Armour. Then you know that, okay, we are priced high compared to our competition on the market. We have a low return on investment in the channel. What can we actually do? Then you can start looking at what is our gross margin in the channel, for example. And then you can think, is it possible to actually lower the prices and see if I can get the bubble to move more to the right? Maybe more people would buy. Maybe you're just pricing it the wrong way. And that is something that could be really, really important, not just only looking at the features in Google Ads. Try to really understand the business. And then you have the second case where you have like the big ones. So Nike and Asics, for example, in this example, you're still priced quite high compared to your competition, but you have a really high return on ad spend. And sometimes you can see that, well, I'm not limited by budget. I'm buying all the traffic I can. But for example, if you still have a low impression share, meaning that you're not showing your ads to everything because you are like making too much, we have too high ROAS on this, maybe there's a reason to actually try to get the bubbles to move a bit more to the left, but you can increase the volume for them, for example. So it's really a combination of business understanding and see how you can leverage that to grow faster. Or the other way around, you can actually look at all the brands you have in your channel. And you can do this analysis. What we typically do is that we do it on category, we do it on brand, and we do it on individual products as well. But just an example, look at the brand example. You have a lot of different brands, and you see here that if you look at most of how you're pricing your products, most of them are to the right of the zero. So you have really a high price strategy here. And that is fine as long as you see that you can grow and that you get a good return on investment. But I think it's really important to continue monitor this to also see what's happening with the challenge, and not just go into to look at a couple of your competition and see what they are pricing, to be more strategic and use the kind of solution continuously to drive your strategy going forward. So those are some of the examples when we do our insight report, where we can show parts for that. And then we can look at who is the right customer, for example. And we typically see that, for example, if you would sell products into Norway, you typically have different return on investment, or what you say, if you look in Google Ads, you look at conversion value over cost. That, for example, why is Bergen compared to Oslo? You get 8 times your money back compared to Oslo, where you get 9 times your money back. So that is a big difference, and that is something that you can leverage. And you can do the same on age as well. So in this example, you see that the green one, which is return on investment, you have a really, really low return on investment on them. You maybe shouldn't even spend marketing money on them. You should actually spend the money where you have the highest return. So it's an important thing to be able to steer your budget where you have the highest return on investment, and not doing this manually, doing it in a data-driven way.
It's very interesting, Eunice, and I think with this all new technology, better understanding your customer gives you a lot of edge. And what we also see that a lot of companies are doing is they're improving the way that they compete. And our space where we see how you really can differentiate, leverage the feedback that you get from your customers, and how you can stand out using social proof from reviews. And that's a bit what I would like to talk about next, because we really see that the social proof has shifted with the entry into the digital world.
Yeah.
Yes, a bit in the past, and at least if you notice, if you don't have your smartphone on you, I was in Morocco lately, and not having any internet access there, finding a good place to eat is a lot of looking at the at where all the other people are they happy, or is it just more of a blank space with someone standing there waiting around? And we see this is what how the old world was. It was it was much more slow. It was much more of word of mouth way of doing it, where you build your business solidly over many years, and it could take a long time to destroy your reputation. And moving into a bit to social proof in the world that we have today. We see it as a much more fast-paced world. Social proof is in many different shapes or forms on many different platforms. Again, holiday example, booking, for example, on Booking.com. I'm going to Iceland here tomorrow, and there's a lot of social proof on there. People have bought this. You should be. You should book it now. A lot of reviews around it there. You do research on Facebook. You do research on Instagram, seeing who have been there and what does this place look like. And one way that we see that social proof works really effectively is with reviews as well. And we see that is something that you can utilize across many different marketing challenges channels today. You can both use it in the bit of the old world, as you see with putting on the bus, but you could also utilize it on your website and in only different social media. But if we dig a bit more into how you can actually use it to improve your search engine marketing and your SEO with reviews. We see that when we look at the search engine marketing, it is collecting reviews for specifically for Google. You have to do that with a platform like ours, which is a Google partner, to be able to feed them into your Google text ads. As we see with the top example here, we have the ad, and then you have the rating on there as well. And also you can do the same thing for product reviews, which are called product ratings, which you also can feed back into to Google. You could do it yourself, but it's much easier using a Google partner as ourselves. If you move to SEO, the best and most easiest way of standing out is using the rich snippets, and specifically the stars that are common for reviews that you can have on the search engine result page. You can do that on your product pages, utilize the same reviews that can be fed into the Google Shopping area and the paid part, but you can also use them to get the rich snippet stars there. You can also utilize reviews for your business on your top landing pages, and also if you collect reviews on a review platform as ours, and we have a public review platform that ranks really well, and also gets your reviews really shown through the rich snippet stars on the search result in your Trustpilot profile. And if we jump specifically a bit more into to the Google Seller Ratings area, Google officially says that you can boost your click-through rate with up around 10%, and we see that as on average a very good benchmark. But you also see that varies a bit from business to business. We did a case study with Cycle Partner here in Denmark, who for them was more important for them to reduce the cost per acquisition, and we started looking into the numbers in 2017. They actually saw that when they had the Google Seller Ratings on their text ads, that actually reduced the cost per acquisition on their ads. So they were really, really happy about that. And then we took we looked at the numbers and in 2017, and then we relooked at them again here in the beginning of 2019, and really to get more of a holistic view on how seller ratings are affecting their seller ratings. Let's go on to the next slide. So if we look at it here, 2017 and 2018, we can actually see a shift in the way that it performs. We see for them that the CTR is actually not positively affected, but what really was also important for them was the conversion that has increased. And if we dig a bit more into the key KPI areas and look at the different effects on a bit of year to year, we see that the CTR, it actually had a positive effect in 2017 on their AdWords, but we actually saw that it had a negative effect in 18. However, they also saw that their cost per click went up, but compared to from 2017 to 18, it actually had they weren't as more expensive as they were in 17, but very surprising and most important for Cycle Partner was that they actually saw that the people coming from the Google Seller Ratings ad had a much higher conversion rate, and that was actually even better in 2018 compared to 2017. So even though that the CTR was going down, they were paying a bit more for the ads, they actually saw a 15% reduction in their cost per acquisitions from ads that had Google Seller Ratings. Really had a good impact on their business. And this was what they were very focused on. That was reducing the cost of sales. And for some businesses, it may be that they really want to drive the conversion, or they want really to drive more traffic to the site. But they were really happy about this part here. If we move on to how reviews can boost your organic search traffic, as talked about before, the rich snippet stars. What you need to do is you need to collect reviews, you need to display them on your site, and then you need to add a small snippet code, which is called schema markup, to your site, which then includes this specifically for reviews. And that's what you see the difference here with the two search results. We have a product called a trust box, which both display the reviews, but also embeds the code onto the site that Google then crawls and then allows you to get the rich snippet stars. And we see this is a very quick and very effective way of increasing the traffic to your specific pages. And we've moved on to Homebridge here as well, as I talked about in the beginning, around that rich snippet stars you can utilize not only for your page, but also something that you will be getting if you're using Trustpilot and collecting reviews on our platform. We have done a lot of search engine optimization. So when you Google your brand plus reviews, we ensure that the Trustpilot profile comes up as one of the top results. And also in terms of your own pages here, you can see that Homebridge have created a page which is around reviews, and they also used our special trust box to get the rich snippet stars in here. So they're really having they're really dominating the search results on their brand and around reviews, and really showing a very positive image for consumers interested in knowing about the shopping experience on their with them.
So let's looking more into Google Shopping, and right now, actually, we see that from US, we actually see that 60% of all clicks delivered to US e-commerce companies comes from Google Shopping already. So it's been a big change to it, and we have many customers that have seen even more dramatic changes, going from maybe 10 to 20% from shopping, all the way up to 80 to 90% from shopping. So it's a really big change. And the challenge with Google Shopping is really that it's not based on keywords. It's really based on the product feed and how you use the structured data that you use to present them. And these are some best practice tips for how you should for example, use the title, which is really important for when your ads are shown or not. So you should always include brand, product, category, and attributes. And depending on what kind of category you are in, if you're in consumable, electronics, or books, for example, of course you should have different structure. So this is a guide and a template for how you should structure your titles for Google Shopping to make sure that you are relevant and you're shown when the people searching for your products. And then also going back to what is the return on ad spend or the ROAS target, and you should always base that actually on the product margin. So if you go back to the example that we had, assume that you have a gross margin from ASICS on around 20%. If you have a gross margin of 25 for Nike or a gross margin of 50 for Under Armour, then of course you should segment them on different ROAS targets so you can optimize based on where you actually have the return on investment. And typically something like this, it will look like the low margin. Well, you need to have a high return on ad spend to be able to get that through. So these are some tips and guidelines that you should think about when you use this.
Sorry, I just need some, yeah. And if we can talk a bit more tactical and how you can leverage social proof really to stand out from your competitors and show them that you are a great place to shop. Again, within the shopping, Google Shopping environment, it is using primarily product ratings on your shopping ads, as you see in the top here, but also the Google seller ratings, as we saw in the text ads before. They are also being carried into the Google Shopping environment as well. And if you look at some of the results, these are the two case studies. If we can change the slide. These are a couple of case studies that we have from Google when they work with some of their customers here, where they started collecting product reviews and feeding them into the Google Shopping environment. Berlanga here, they saw a great uplift of more than 12% on desktop and tablet, and they saw more than 10% uplift on CTR on their smartphones. And if we look at Winkleton in Germany. The next one. Yeah, sorry. They saw a very similar trend as well. Really, that the ads stand out from their competitors. They saw more traffic come into the site from the ads, and they also saw a reduction in the CPC from the Google Shopping ads. So, and really a good way of improving your ad performance and standing out from your competitors.
So to sum up the 3 key takeaways, we will really say that use the data that you have in Google Ads and really dig into the details to really understand the trends, the patterns that you have, and also include other data sources that you have, and understand who is your buyer personas, what are the categories and brands that really work well for you, and make sure that you have a data-driven setup so you can optimize for that.
Definitely, and when we look at your customers as well, looking at who they are and what it is important to them, and we really see that social proof is super important to our customers in this day and age. It's no longer just this one-way conversation. They're really listening more to other customers, what they say about a business, just as much as personal opinions, and really utilizing review as a great way of social proof to stand out and engage with your customers.
Okay.
All right. We're already a few minutes over time, but at least we want to make sure that we cover off one question that came up. So the question is, this is for you, Thomas. How many reviews do a company need in order to get the stars?
The parameters are different if we talk about the paid and the organic. If we talk about the paid first for the Google seller ratings, a company needs to collect 100 reviews within 12 months for each country and have an average rating of 3.5 out of the 5. If we look at the organic, the rich snippet stories, you actually just only need to collect 1 review and then ensure that you mark up the page and adhere to Google's guidelines in terms of that. So it's a bit different, but at least from the organic part, you can actually get them really, really quick.
Great, thank you for that. So I'll just like to wrap up and say, thanks everyone for taking the time to join this webinar and for asking questions. So looking forward to see you joining the next webinar as well. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for your time. Bye.